Have your customers bought everything you have to offer? Well, have they? After over 20 years in the sales profession, I've learned many things. But there's one thing that I can tell you with absolute certainty, and it's something I think you already know, and that is that all of your customers, and I mean all of them, have more budget, they've got more money, and they can definitely buy more of what you're selling. Now, I know, they'll give you all kinds of excuses like, well, we can't buy it this month, or they'll tell you that they don't have what you're selling in the budget this particular quarter, or maybe they'll tell you their mother doesn't approve. You've heard the list of excuses. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, the fact still remains that every customer you've got, you can sell more to. But see, here's the thing. I believe that's true only if you're thinking about how to sell strategically. Strategically, huh? Well, I'm sure you believe you're selling strategically. Most salespeople do. But from my experience, most salespeople aren't. So let me real quickly define what I mean by strategy. See, strategy is the big picture. It's the easiest way to understand it. Think of strategy as kind of a long-term plan to achieve a specific objective or some sort of specific goal. Now, most salespeople aren't selling like that. And they're more selling tactically, which, think about it like cooking up little pieces, little actions, or connecting the dots, but not understanding what the picture is going to be first. And this is very important because if you want to achieve any goal, you have to know where you're going. So strategy is all about making decisions and ultimately choices. So here's the big question. What does strategy have to do with selling? Absolutely everything. Let's think about strategy this way. Let's say that you make a $100,000 sale to 2 different customers versus a $170,000 sale to only 1 customer. Here's the question. Which one's going to be more profitable for you and your company? Now, in most cases, the one sale for $170,000 will be more profitable. Now, you might be thinking, well, John, can you add? My answer is simple. Of course, I can add the time and effort that it's going to take you to find the customer, the time and effort it's going to take you to build the relationship, and then do the presentations, and handle the objections, and do the negotiations, and write the agreement, and all the other stuff you've got to do to make that sale, and then take care of that customer after the sale. So, if you think about this for just a minute, if you're working with the wrong types of customers, you're only cheating yourself. In fact, I have a friend of mine that sells very expensive real estate. And the truth is, he will only sell homes that are in the $1 million or $2 million or more range. You know why? Because what he learned a long time ago is that it takes about the same amount of time to sell a $2 million home as it does to sell a home for $200,000. And in fact, he'll tell you that most of the time, you can even sell a $2 million home faster because the affluent buyers make quicker decisions. Bottom line, what am I telling you here? Very simple. Think strategy first, then tactics. Think who you want to be working with, who you want to be selling to, and then think about how to sell them. And I guarantee you, you're going to earn a lot more in commissions, and you're probably going to have a lot more fun selling. And how can you do this practically? Meaning selling strategically? Well, I'm glad you asked. To sell strategically, you have to answer 3 questions about each one of your customers so you're going to know if they're really the kind of customers you're going to want to be working with. Question number 1, what kind of customers you're going to sell to? Here you need to define the exact type of customers you're going to be looking for and working with. What am I talking about? You need to understand if the customer is somebody that's going to match with you and your company. Are they somebody that really needs your product? Also, you want to know if they're growing in the market. Also, what are their future plans? And at a minimum, you want to know whether or not these people have been looking or are looking for the products and services you're selling. It's real simple. I have my salespeople do this. They kind of create a small profile, or with some of our customers, a bigger profile, about everything they can find out about the customer. That way they can assess whether or not that customer is going to fit us and be profitable. See, the problem here is a lot of salespeople go out and they work with customers only to find out after they spent time and after they spent resources that that customer really isn't somebody they want to work with. Question number 2, very, very important question. What is the sales potential for each one of the customers that you have? Man, I'm talking about the sales potential for each product and service that you sell. Now, I do realize this information is not always so easy to come by. But with the internet, you can find out about anything and anybody pretty easily. Something that I would suggest practically is talk to some of the veteran salespeople in the organization, or talk to some of the people that you might know that work in your industry and ask them, what kind of questions do you need answers to from the customers to really understand what their sales potential is? The third question, what is the cost of the account going to be? Meaning, how much time and resources and energy and maybe money do you need to invest into that customer, and what kind of return are you going to get? Very, very, very important question, because too often you'll work with customers that you invest a lot in and you don't get a return from. And I've been in this situation many times where I just didn't really feel like I wanted to work with the customer and serve them long term because I wasn't making any money off of them. So I think if you ask these 3 questions about every customer you have and every customer you want to work with, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to really consider whether or not who you're selling to are really the people you want to be working with. And remember something, the biggest customers are not always the best. Very often, they're the ones that will beat your price down, or they're the ones that won't pay you on time. And very often, they're the ones that everybody else is trying to sell to as well. Remember, as a salesperson, your job is not to be some peasant worker for your customers, and your job is not to work for free. Understand this, there's a lot of business out there, and a lot of customers are more than happy to work with people that are really going to solve their problems and make sure that they're compensated for that. Thing is, you have a choice. In summary, if you want to sell more and you want to be more effective as a salesperson, you've got to start thinking about strategy first and tactics second. And I really believe the beginning of that is asking those 3 questions to every single customer you have or you want to work with to really determine whether or not that customer is someone that makes sense for you and your company.